2, Superman. I think I already have this one. Tetris, already got that. Don't have this. Don't need that. Don't have this. House of the Dead 2. Maybe a pickup. Choose your arcade game. I think I have that. Let's see. Spider-Man. Sonic. Jam. Killer Instinct. Kirby's Avalanche, potentially. Super Mario Bros. None of the consoles came with it, right?
They did. Do I know if we still have?
Where is my thing? Other being the charge? It was in your backpack. So I need to take care of that. No. I don't need any more stuff.
Devil May Cry 3. Mic check 1 2 1 2. It's the Y2K collector, and we're only 2 days into this new week, and I'm already finding more luck when it comes to retro game pickups. Now, I had to go to a local bank, and there is a GameStop near there, and so I decided to drop in just to see if they had any retro, and I was blown away by some of what I saw. And for anyone who's wondering if the whole GameStop going retro thing is legit, I'll be the first to say that it definitely is legit when you happen to go to one of the stores that has been designated retro. I do think that for some stores and for some employees, there's still a little bit of gatekeeping going on. But if you're able to build relationships at one of your local GameStops, then you should be able to have some luck here. So I'm going to go through about 5 or 6 pickups that I made today. Some decent ones. Was able to use some points and some credits for some of these. So we'll dive into it. The first pickup that I was able to get was Grand Theft Auto 3. This is definitely nothing super rare or exclusive. Grand Theft Auto 3 is a very common PlayStation 2 game, but it is complete in box. It is the black label, and it is probably one of the best entries in the whole Grand Theft Auto series. So definitely a milestone in gaming. Rockstar knocked it out the park with this one. And a lot of people have a lot of fond memories with Grand Theft Auto 3. I've never beaten this one, but I definitely have played it. And by playing it, I mean just running around the city, just getting in cars and taking people's cars. And, you know, this was one of the first like open world games for me that just felt so free. Like there was just so much you could do. So definitely a cool one. Glad I picked it up. The next game that they had there was this copy of Devil May Cry 3. So another PlayStation 2 game here. Again, complete in box. A pretty decent one. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this one because I recently picked up the Devil May Cry trilogy. I have that on the Xbox 360 and on the PS3. So this one might get sold. I may not keep this one, but still, all in all, a pretty good pickup from GameStop. Both of these games were $10 a piece, so I wasn't mad at it. Went ahead and took advantage there. Then this was one that I was a little shocked to find. Spyro, the Legend of Spyro, Dawn of the Dragon. So I got a free copy of Spyro, Enter the Dragon on the PS2. That was a free copy that I had picked up the other day. So once I saw this one there, I had never really seen this. And this is actually a 2-player co-op. You can play this 2-player co-op on the 360. So this was one that I wanted to check out. And this is one of those ones that I think has kind of gone up a little bit in price on the 360. So when I saw it, I don't think I've ever seen this one like in the wild at a GameStop. So this was one I decided to pick up just because I don't really see it very often. Then they had a copy of Conan. I actually had a copy of Conan on the Xbox 360. No, I'm sorry. I actually had a copy of Conan on the PlayStation 4. Yeah, I did have a copy of this on the PlayStation 4. And I wound up selling it once I sold all my PS4 games. So this one I just happened to randomly run into. And because I was able to get it for around $7, exactly $7, this felt like a no-brainer. It does come with a manual. It is a hack and slasher, so I'm definitely into that genre. So I went ahead and picked this one up to add to my cheap Xbox 360 game collection. So added that one there. And then you're gonna be shocked at this next one. Dude, House of the Dead 2. So I was actually blown away to see a complete inbox Dreamcast game at GameStop. Now this one I wanted to get because back in the arcade that I used to go to back in the day, there were two games, right? Like point and shoot type games available at the arcade. The first one was Area 51, which I used to play a ton of Area 51 all the time. But then the second one was House of the Dead 2. I feel like this game was in so many arcades. I would see this at like the arcade parts in the hotels. Like I would just see this game like everywhere. So this one was really interesting to run into, very interesting to find. And so I went ahead and snagged this up. Like I said, this one was complete in box. It was on trade hold, so it was just released off of trade hold the other day. So I went ahead and snagged this one up, added it to the collection for sure. And it is complete. I think you all can see this already. It is complete. It's got the disc. The disc is in decent shape. This was a cool one to find. You know, I've heard people saying that they found Dreamcast games at GameStop, but I had never found one in person. So went ahead and added this one. And then last but not least, Spider-Man from the Spider-Man the Animated Series. This is actually a cool entry. This is a cool little beat 'em up. Not the best condition, but for $10, I decided to pick it up. I know this one goes for a little bit more. I think this one's like $20. It was actually more than that. I think this was going for like 25 or so. So for $10, I thought this was a pretty good deal. And House of the Dead actually wound up coming in at $15. So not bad. $15 Dreamcast game, complete in box. Some pretty cool Xbox 360 games here. And then, of course, it's always fun to see PlayStation 2 games at GameStop. So, I mean, you know, I know that there were probably better games that I just missed out on because from what I understand, there was a huge trade. Somebody traded in a boatload of PlayStation 2 games, a boatload of Dreamcast games, and a boatload of Sega Genesis games. So I'm sure this is like what I found was the scraps, which just tells me that there were probably way better games that were dropped off there and left there. I just, you know, I happened to come late and catch the tail end of things. But still, it's just fun to find these types of games at GameStop because for a long time, you couldn't find these at a GameStop. But being able to kind of just easily access these has been cool, especially since a lot of like my local retro stores, all they're doing is increasing their prices and they don't have any real sales that make me want to go in and buy any retro games. So I mean, I'm really interested to know what you think this means for like local retro game stores. If GameStop really starts to build a retro library, could that put your mom and pop shops in jeopardy? I'm really interested to know what you think. It's the Y2K Collector. Hopefully you're having a great week, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take it easy.